The first section in your New York State regulations is actually the definitions of terms that you're going to find inside the regulations manual. It's section 79.1. The reason we need definitions explained to us is because the regulations are written by state legislators and also lawyers, I would imagine. So it's written in a way that you may feel like you have to have a law degree in order to understand it. So if we ever see a term in the regulations that we don't understand, we can always refer back to section 79.1 to understand what they're talking about. But I want to briefly go through these definitions just so you get a feel for what they're talking about. All right, the first term is certificate of inspection. What I want you to see that when they say a certificate of inspection, they're actually talking about a sticker. So that little New York State inspection sticker found on the windshield is the certificate of inspection. The rejection or advisory note found here, letter B, is the form that the DMV issues when a vehicle has been rejected during its New York State inspection. In other words, it doesn't pass. The third definition is maximum gross weight, or MGW. This you'll probably get a little bit confused with gross vehicle weight rating, GVW. It's not the same. When a vehicle is registered with New York State, the registration process asks what the GVW of the vehicle is, and that input it becomes the maximum gross weight. So if someone inputs that incorrectly or tells the state that their vehicle's GVW is less than it actually is or more than it actually is, it's going to be listed as the maximum gross weight. So again, the MGW is the weight of the vehicle as shown on the vehicle's registration document. We can find the gross vehicle weight of the vehicle usually on the door jamb on the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards sticker. All right, the fourth definition is motor vehicle. And the definition of a motor vehicle is basically anything, including trailers, that can be found on a vehicle that needs to be registered. Okay, so when you hear motor vehicle, you might think car or truck. It actually goes beyond that. It could be a trailer, it could be a motorcycle. All right, the motor vehicle inspection record is the record that the DMV has of what took place during a motor vehicle inspection. So it's a form or a record that is used and stored to show what took place. So again, motor vehicles registered in the state are the vehicles that, just like it says, that are actually in our state and registered in our state. Obviously, there are vehicles in our state that are not registered, and those do not apply to the term motor vehicle registered in the state. Official Safety Inspection Station, letter G, is a facility or repair facility that is licensed to do New York State safety inspections. We also have inspection stations that are designated for fleets of vehicles. For instance, let's see, National Grid may have a fleet station license, so they're licensed to inspect all of the vehicles within their own fleet. All right, letter J, a 10-day time extension is something that can be issued if a vehicle fails New York State inspection due to emissions monitors not being run. We extend the amount of time that that person has to get their vehicle completely inspected to 10 days. It's a piece of paper that is printed out at the inspection facility. Certified motor vehicle inspector, that is going to be you. That's the person who has been licensed to do New York State inspections. Motor vehicle inspector certificate is the little card that you're issued that says that you're able to do New York State inspections. That card will list what groups you're allowed to inspect. Group 1 is vehicles up to 18,000 pounds. Group 2 is vehicles over 18,000 pounds. And Group 3 is motorcycles. All right, letter M is the New York metropolitan area. The acronym is NYMA. You're going to find a lot of regulations in our regulation manual saying that it applies to NYMA only. There are some differences in inspection procedures if you're within the New York metropolitan area. Guys, this is not us. These are the counties listed in this definition: Suffolk, Nassau, Kings, Queens, basically New York City area. Letter O, the computerized vehicle inspection system. This is the computer that you've probably seen within our lab where we do New York State inspections. So again, it's a dedicated inspection workstation and all the software and hardware that's required to input the inspection result. An official emissions inspection station is a station or facility, repair facility, that is allowed, licensed to do emissions inspections. A temporary certificate of emissions waiver is something we'll talk about towards the end of the course. It's basically a waiver that says a person is allowed for 1 year to not pass the emissions portion of the New York State inspection. It basically waives that requirement for the period of 1 year. All right, letter T. Scroll down. Oops, I went a little bit too far. Sorry about that. Letter T is the inflatable restraint system, otherwise known as the airbag system. The inflatable restraint readiness indicator lamp is the airbag light. A diesel emissions inspection station is a station which is allowed to do diesel emissions inspection. Obviously, a diesel emissions inspection certification and waiver form are the certificate and waiver forms that are allowed for diesel inspection stations to be issued to diesel owners if it comes to that. Onboard diagnostics, or OBD, if you remember from fuel and emissions and maybe engine performance, it is vehicles 1996 or newer have a ability to be plugged into by either New York State inspection machines or scan tools, a generic scan tool. The malfunction indicator lamp, or the MIL, is also another name for check engine lights or service engine soon lights. And again, that is the first section of the New York State inspection regulations. We're going to go into depth on the other sections in other modules.